So good evening, welcome back. This is just a quick video to discuss my new gaming and editing laptop that's actually replacing the X1 Extreme that you've seen on the channel. I still have the X1 Extreme, I'm just actually not using it as much. I mean, really I use it more for just light browsing and that's about it. Of course, I started having some issues and I've been sorting through those. Finally, I just decided I'd go ahead and make a jump and replace it. Initially, I wanted to get another Thinkpad because I actually really like the track point, but I started having issues kind of with my hand and really the finger that I use for the track point. So I wanted to try something new, which is one of the reasons why you will see the track balls that I have here. And I'll talk about those shortly. But needless to say, I also have a wireless Thinkpad keyboard that I was actually using at work. I just figured I'd bring it home. I don't necessarily use it as much with this setup because this keyboard that's actually on the computer I'm talking about today is more than sufficient. And that computer is the G18. This would be the Gen 1, so it came out 2023. It has the 4080, it has the 2K screen, and it's the i9 processor. So it's really powerful. It's a full 175 watt GPU, which is one of the other reasons why I actually wanted this laptop versus another workstation with a decreased performance like the X1 Extreme had with its particular graphics card, which once again I get, but even still I wanted something that was a little bit faster, a little beefier, a little bit larger screen, and this is what I decided on. Up until this, I did also try a couple of other laptops. I would say about a year and a half ago, I bought a Gigabyte Aero 16 with a 380 Ti, and I actually had it for like 2 days and took it right back. It was terrible. Kept overheating and locking up. I actually didn't really get a chance to put it through its paces. I also ordered a Lenovo P17 that I pretty much maxed out with the exception of, actually I think it was pretty much maxed out. It was like, with the exception of the GPU, which is one quattro down from whatever the top one was. And that one, unfortunately, Lenovo sent me the wrong laptop that was pretty much all base spec. And then it was a pain trying to actually get my money back from them because I had to prove to them that they sent me the wrong laptop. It was just all kinds of crazy. They burnt a bridge with me. And I would even say when I was looking at the P17, I was also considering the T15G, hoping that the T15G3 was going to come out. But it never actually happened, or maybe something like a T16G. So maybe a beefier frame with a much more powerful GPU, so it could be closer to a gaming laptop. But yeah, once again, it never happened. So then I decided to keep on looking at gaming laptops. This was one, the Helios 18-incher was one, which didn't really like that one in person, which is the other reason, really the main reason why I actually went with this 18. At work, I also had a chance to swap between laptops because when I first started working there, they gave me a Dell Latitude, which was not enough. So then they actually had to change it out to a Precision, which was okay, but it still wasn't my cup of tea. By the way, it actually still had the track point on it, which I think it's called the touch point. But then eventually I changed to they upgraded that because we got away from Dell with the company and went to HP. So I got a 17-inch ZBook, and it was just okay. And now you know that the ZBook and I believe the Precision, they don't even have the touch points anymore on the keyboard. So if I was going to get it for that reason, then it wasn't an option. Now going back to the touch point, I actually started having an issue with touch points on my Lenovo's, and what I'm referring to is, I get a slight sort of pain in my nerves or something in my hand when I'm using this, and I don't know if it's from overuse or what. So I decided to give trackballs a chance, and frankly, I kind of fell in love with these. So this one I actually bought for work. This keyboard I actually had at work, but at home, generally I'm using this particular laptop with the Realcon that I have here. And frankly, I love this. It makes a lot of sense. This particular track point, I think it's by Nulia, or excuse me, trackball, worked really well at work because I had about like 4 screens. So being able to fly between the different apps and all the different screen real estate, this is pretty amazing. But this, I love it. The only downside is you can hear it's kind of rattly, hard plastic, a little cheap. Got it off Amazon, but it's serving its purpose. And you actually have to change the AAA batteries. They last probably about 2 months. But moving back to the G18, once again, this is the G18 Strix. It is not the Scar. It has the 480 processor, as well as the i9, or excuse me, the 480 GPU and the i9 processor. I have upgraded the RAM. So it came with 16 gigs, which was ridiculous. So I went to 32 gigs. And then my SD, I added about another terabyte. Came with a terabyte, yeah, added a terabyte. And I also added biometrics, which I'll put this up on the side here just so I can log in with my fingerprint. I had to get a stand because lo and behold, the larger laptop would not fit on my other lap stand. So I ended up buying this behemoth. Frankly, I really like this thing. It's super comfortable. I also bought a SD card reader as well. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, there we go. So an SD card reader. Don't care for this that much because it kind of dangles out the side. And when I'm putting the card in or trying to take the card out, I feel like I'm about to break this. So I may have to think of another thing to do or look at another option. And then, let's see, had to buy another bag. Once again, going back to the fact that it's a much larger laptop. At the time, I don't think they actually had a lot of bags available. So this is the one that I settled on. At some point, I'm going to change this. I've got a couple of backpacks that I can kind of wedge it in, but it doesn't necessarily fit that well. Let's see. But I think that was really about it that I did to make it, usable for my purposes. As far as the software is concerned, the only thing I changed is I got rid of the Asus power management stuff, and or disabled it because it's still on there technically. And I used this application called G Helper to manage the power. And frankly, I think it is so much better than Asus. And the main reason why I say that is because when I first started using it, the issue I was having was the battery life on this laptop was probably about an hour. And this was stuff turned down. And I didn't understand that. And having read reviews, knowing that I should have been getting more, not that I'm going to get like Thinkpad type, endurance X1, but I was expecting like at least 5 hours. So I went to G Helper, and frankly, it solved it. It's not as fancy, I don't think, as Asus, but it does what I needed to do, and it was free. So I'll probably put a link down in the description for that. But other than that, that's it. So far, I've been really, really happy. I love the screen on this thing. Biometrics is just hit or miss. But yeah, I love the screen on this laptop. And what I can tell you is it's more than capable for what I need it for. The one thing that I wasn't too sold on initially was the additional, gaming sort of vibe with all of the logos. And frankly, this one wasn't that bad. I looked at the Helios 18, and the Helios 18 was the one that I actually didn't even like how it looked at all in the store. So it's like I'm not bringing that home. But the Helios had the mini LED screen. However, on the Nits non-HDR, it was actually lower than this particular screen, which I think this one is about 500, a little bit over 500. Actually, it's quoted at rated factory at 500 nits non-HDR, and that's more than enough. This thing gets super bright, or bright enough for me. I did add some tape to the camera there because that's just kind of the thing that I do. But other than that, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free, leave them in the remarks.